Hello, and welcome
to Sort of the Story.
I'm Janey.
And I'm Max.
And this is the podcast where we tell each other stories, like fairy tales and folk tales and mythology.
And also, you're here.
Wow, hi.
Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Oh my gosh. Hi, guys. It's been a while. For us, not for you. It's been a week for you. We took a weekend off. It was so nice.
I didn't
Remember that?
realize.
Yeah. We haven't, technically, we haven't recorded in like almost 2 weeks. Isn't that weird?
Oh my God.
I know.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Anyway, our recording schedule is usually we record an episode every weekend, but last weekend we recorded on like Monday and then skipped the whole weekend, and now we're in the next weekend. That's 2 weeks.
Damn.
I know that's riveting content for you guys. You're always looking for more schedule-related discussions.
Yeah, I had a big event at work that was going to be all weekend, and I was like, I'm going to spend the rest of the weekend fucking sleeping.
And you did?
And I did, and good for me.
I was supposed to go to that event as support, and I woke up throwing up everywhere. It was so fun. I recommend it.
Really good.
God, that was the sickest I've been in a very, very long time. I couldn't even walk. And now this weekend, I still can barely walk. It's like my muscles are still just atrophied. Why? Anyway.
I should have asked this earlier, but have you been consuming enough protein and iron?
Yeah.
Okay. Just check it. I don't know if that imitation crab has a lot of protein in it.
It's fish, but also egg. Yeah. No, I've been...
Much to consider.
I feel like I've been pretty balanced as far as my diet goes.
Carbs?
Yeah, some carbs.
Carbs. Okay.
Yeah. Listen.
Vitamins?
We didn't talk about not vitamins. No. None.
Never.
Drinking a Gatorade. Okay. Anyway, none of that is interesting to you guys. Hello, and welcome to Sort of the Story.
This podcast's not for children. It's episode 124. We have more than 124 episodes publicly available, but if that's not enough for you, you can join us on our Patreon. And for $3 a month, you can get access to our Discord, which is just a community of our listeners and us, and it's delightful and super, super fun. Or for $7 a month, our bonus episodes release on the first Monday of every month. And you also get access to the back catalog of bonus episodes.
Yeah.
So,
and they're fun over there.
They're pretty good.
It's a good time over in the bonus episode land.
Yeah.
I'm also going to release an extended cut of our discussion about werewolf sex in werewolf smut books.
Oh, yeah.
We couldn't release it on regular content because Max's parents listened to this and both of us got shy. So if you want to hear that, go over to the Patreon. It's fun.
And that's business. Also follow us on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, Sort of the Story.
Yeah.
Send us an email, sortofthestory@gmail.com, and go to our website, sortofthestory.com.
Max, you really are a business professional.
Yeah. Now that business is out of the way, let's get down to
business.
Business.
Join the Patreon for $7 a month.
Now let's get down to the sillies. What's up? What's new?
We got some stories to say.
Oh, I guess that's true.
We kind of have a deadline today. We have an exciting meeting with another business professional. It's our friend Connor.
You are really...
Guys, big things are a-coming, and we need help with it. So we can't stay here that long, Max. We're on a timeline to make it to a business meeting. Do you want to just jump into the stories?
Okay.
Max is looking at me like, are you about to spoil things? And the answer is no.
No, I feel like you're setting expectations for our business levels higher than I'm comfortable with.
Oh gosh, guys, get ready for pinstripe suits and professional heels. What are professional heels? I imagine like those stocky kind of shorts.
Pumps.
Yeah, but I feel like people think of professional heels as like
heels.
stilettos, like the tall stilettos that they wear in 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh yeah, nobody's ever worn that to work.
Except that there are a couple teachers in my school who sometimes they show up in them. And I'm like, you're an elementary school teacher. There's no way that you're staying in that. I don't care how cute they are. And they're not that cute.
Damn.
You know what's cute?
This is a public podcast. You might have to cut that. What if they hear it?
You know what's cute? Comfort. My worn out Toms. That's cute.
Janey has one pair of shoes, and it's Toms that she replaces once a year when they get holes in them.
I keep trying to convince myself to get different shoes, but I'm scared. I'm scared of being uncomfortable at work for even 1 second. Okay. Story.
Yeah, let's do it.
You're going to go first.
I am going to go first.
Are you excited?
I am.
Me too. Okay. Bye.
Okay, Janey.
Okay, Max.
Janey, okay. I got a story for you today, and it's from Wales.
Dance. Guys, go Go look up that. There's a YouTube video.
We'll post it.
It's a Welsh man, and he says, I taught a seagull to dance. And there's just like a seagull in the street looking at him, and he's like, dance. And then it just starts to flip its little feet, like,
and he's like, goodbye.
Yeah, we're in love with that, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna link it. We're gonna link it. Just watch it. Just click on that link, okay? Don't even question it. Just go click on a link.
Go clink it.
Go clink it.
So this story's from Wales, and I don't know that I've told a story from Wales before. I'm trying to think if I have.
I have the smallest little pocketbook of folk tales from Wales. That's what but I've never told any stories from there.
Yeah.
It's too small.
Fair. Part of the reason why I've never told any stories from Wales is because Welsh words are really, 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 really hard to pronounce.
That's true.
So a lot of times I will flip open a book, I will see the title of a story, and I will say, that story is from Wales. I can tell because it has 13 L's in the first word.
Yes. Yes.
And a lot of W's and D's and Y's.
Mm-hmm.
So this story kind of flew under my radar for a very long time. But I have this story in Celtic Tales, Fairy Tales and Stories of Enchantment from Ireland, Scotland, Brittany, and Wales, illustrated by Kate Forrester, which is the same collection that I have The Witch of Fife in, and a couple of other stories that we've told on the podcast.
Beautiful book.
Yep, it's illustrated by Kate Forrester. The illustrations are gorgeous. I'll show you later, I guess. Spoilers.
Spoilies. I had a dream that we changed the word spoilers in America to spoilies, and the president kept using it in like his State of the Union address.
In what context?
Just like, okay, guys, get ready for some spoilies.
We're gonna go to war.
Is invading. It was like but it was so serious, and I forgot about it till just now. But spoilers and spoilies now is like interchangeable in my head.
That's really good.
Okay, guys, spoilies. Russia is invading. Spoilies. There's no food in the Midwest. Spoilies. Everything is bad. A bipartisan system is stupid. We're doing another Trump-Biden election. Okay, sorry, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Woo! Spoilies. I'm having a breakdown. Go.
Spoilies. Abolish the Electoral Congress.
Oh my god. This isn't a political podcast. You go ahead.
Nothing in this world is apolitical. And if you disagree, then you're not paying attention. Anyways. This story is called
Wales!
Meredydd and the Wyvern.
Okay.
Couple things. Meredydd is a male name.
Okay.
It's a Welsh name. It's not Meredydd.
Got it.
It's Meredydd.
You know what? I'll put away my fists that I was about to fight you with.
Yeah.
I suppose. You're right.
I'm going to be really defensive for most of this story.
I heard Max in the living room today go, I was right! Everyone else was wrong!
I was right.
And everyone else was wrong. You didn't get the word.
And the Wyvern.
You said Wyvern is the one that
It is Wyvern. I've been right this whole fucking time. People for years have been like, actually it's Wyvern, and actually, fuck you, it's Wyvern.
I've always said Wyvern, and then I listened to the Throne of Glass series on audiobook, and they say Wyvern.
And they're wrong.
And I was annoyed the whole first couple books where I was like, stop. But then there was just so many books, and they're so long, and the word Wyvern is used so many times. The word Wyvern is used so many times that now I say Wyvern.
Well, that's wrong.
I don't think I can come back. I'm sorry.
Listen.
You're going to have to just accept me as I am, Max.
Here's the thing. I don't know if this has come up on the podcast before. When I was a kid, I was really, 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 really into dragons. Like, really into them. Like, I tried to make, like, an Audubon bird book of, like, you know how you have, like, the features of the thing, and it goes, like, does it have 2 legs or 4 legs or something like that to, like, identify animals? I tried to make one of those for dragons. I took a woodshop class, and I made a giant plaque that says, I love dragons.
I like the idea of an Audubon book of birds, and the first question is, does it have 2 legs or 4 legs? This is really going to narrow down whether or not you're looking at a bird.
If it has 4 legs,
not a bird.
You need a different book.
If it has 4 legs, good news, you're not looking at a bird.
You can return this to the library.
You can stop reading right here. We saved you a bunch of time. And intellectual energy.
But, like, I was, like, real into dragons as a kid. Like,
yeah.
not in a cool or normal way.
I have found that people who are super into dragons as kids are rarely cool or normal. So, like, you're good.
And so I was, like, really into dragons, and I was like, oh, my favorite kind of dragon is a wyvern because it has wings and only 2 legs. And sometimes they have little grippers on the end of their
I like it when they use their wings as
bats.
legs.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they have little... Cool. They're like bats that have the little hands on the peaks of their wings.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's my favorite kind of dragon. And someone was like, actually, it's wyvern. And I was like, no, the fuck it's not. And then someone else is like, no, it's super wyvern. And then ever since then, everyone's been like, it's wyvern. And I'm like, okay, maybe I don't know enough about dragons as much as I thought. And fuck you, no, I did. You're all wrong. You're all wrong.
Hey, astrology girlies, Max is a Libra, but she also has mostly Scorpio signs throughout the rest of her house. So I don't know if that's coming across here, but I feel like some of this can be explained away by magic girl math.
Yeah. Libra, Sagittarius, Aquarius, and then Scorpio all the way down.
Scorpions all the way down.
A pit of scorpions. Anyways, it's wyvern. It's wyvern.
Wyvern. Let's call up Sarah J. Maas and throw egg in her face.
Yes. So this story is called Meredydd and the Wyvern.
Meredydd and the Wyvern.
No.
Got it.
There are a bunch of other words in this story that are in Welsh, because this story is from Wales. Mm-hmm. And rather than make a fool of myself by pronouncing everything wrong like I always do with every story, I did my fucking research.
Max has a chart.
I have a chart. I picked out all of the Welsh words that I didn't know how to pronounce.
Amazing.
And then I looked up pronunciations for them so that I can pronounce them. And then I also looked up the International Phonetic Alphabet, like, delineation for them. And some of them, like, you can't just, like, look up what it is. So I had to listen to things and then transliterate it into IPA, which my IPA is very rusty. So some of it might be wrong, but it's close enough, I think. And this is based on, like, genuinely 45 minutes of research just into pronunciations.
Good.
So this acts as a pronunciation guide for Meredydd and the Wyvern. I also posted it in the notes for this episode.
How exciting.
Because it was really hard to find. So if you're Welsh, you get to tell me if I am pronouncing something wrong. If you're not Welsh, shut up. I did my research. I know what I'm talking about.
If you're a whale, stop listening to this podcast, okay? Go listen to something more intellectually stimulating.
Like Fresh Air.
Fresh Air. Or the audiobook of the Audubon Society of Birds.
Okay.
Oh, for whales, that actually might be really helpful if it's like, does it have 2 legs or 4 legs? You're looking at a dog, my friend. They're like, wow.
I can't believe there's a kind of bird called a dog.
Dog bird.
Might be confusing for, like, cowbirds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true. Anyways,
yeah.
This story I have in this collection of Celtic fairy tales. It originally comes from 2 separate stories that I think the illustrator for Celtic Tales sort of
just combined,
adapted into one story. The 2 original stories are Meredydd, and then second story, The Wyvern, by Bernard Henderson and Stephen Jones in their collection Wonder Tales of Ancient Wales. Mm-hmm. This story's from Wales.
Great title.
Wonder Stories. Wonder Tales of Ancient Wales.
Wonder Tales of Ancient Wales is such a fucking good title.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good.
I just aggressively grabbed her pronunciation guide. Apparently the first line of this story is hard to say.
In Coed-y-Moch.
Coed-y-Moch.
In the region of Coed-y-Moch in Wales. The people are being terrorized.
By what?
A wyvern.
Actually, it's wyvern.
Actually, it's not.
I just can't listen to this podcast anymore if they're going to insist on saying the wrong way.
The genuine, I know that I just talked about this for 10 minutes, and I know that you're kidding, but there is still, like, I'm still recovering from finding out that I'm right, and knowing that you're kidding, there was still a part of my heart that was like, actually, it's not! Damn it!
Very fun. I'm having a great time in this episode already.
So,
Coed-y-Moch, there is a wyvern.
Yes, a wyvern in Coed-y-Moch. It is terrorizing the region. This wyvern is this huge creature. It's described as being like a winged snake, and it's like slimy, and it's huge and strong, and it has glowing green eyes and a white long tongue, and it goes through like the valley and the ridge around it. It lives in the valley. It goes to Coed-y-Moch and the region around it, and just terrorizes everyone. It destroys the livestock. It carries off cows. It like picks people up in the middle of the night, and in the middle of the day it'll just like swoop down over a field and pick up a shepherd and like drop them in the woods or whatever.
What? Don't even eat them? It just wants to rearrange them?
It does specifically say it's like a lot of times it'll just like the wyvern can eat a sheep whole, and will often do that if he's really hungry, but sometimes he likes to play with his food a little bit, where they're like, one of the things he does is sometimes he'll like catch a person and then he'll pin them against a tree and then like constrictor wrap around the tree and squish them into jelly and then eat the jelly.
Fancy boy.
Yeah. Sometimes he just likes a little treat.
Yeah.
A little soft treat. Wyvern is ruining lives, doing standard dragon shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always hungry. It is always on the hunt. It is as silent as an owl when it flies. So a lot of times when the wyvern attacks in like the night, someone will be walking down the road and they'll just hear that like, whoop, and then around them you will hear like them screaming quickly cut off. And that's the only signs of the dragon attack is like that one sound and then silence.
No.
Yeah, pretty fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
The Lord of Nannai, which is one of the like regions within.
Nannai sounds like an Australian way to say no, Nannai. I mean New Zealand. Nannai. Not here.
Nannai is one of the like townships within Coed-y-Moch. The Lord of Nannai offers 70 cattle. 30, right?
Yeah, 47 years ago. 12?
12?
I think it might be 12.
Or is it 20? A lot of cows.
I think it's 12.
70. I should know this. But I don't. So, whatever.
Hey, Abraham Lincoln, email us at sortofthestory@gmail.com.
At least 30 cows.
Yeah.
70 cows are offered by the Lord of Nannai to whoever can defeat this wyvern. Especially because, like, as time goes on, the wyvern is getting older and is getting wiser and, like, sneakier. And in the beginning, like, they were able to, you know, almost catch it a bunch of times, and now they can't even get close. It's, like, smart. It is wily. And it's only getting smarter and wilier. So they're like, we got to take care of this now, or we're all going to die. A wizard named Llywelyn, or Llywelyn, depending on which area of Wales you're from. I have both of the pronunciations in the guide. I like Llywelyn. That's just me.
Yeah.
There is a wizard named Llywelyn who is like, wow, 70 cows. That's a lot of cows. And so he wants to try and kill the dragon.
That's a lot of best friends. Let's go.
So he goes, and in order to kill the dragon, he's like, I'm going to call upon my magic and arcane powers as a dark wizard of this age in order to destroy this fearsome beast. And he hires 12 archers to stand at points around the ridge, like around where the Valley of the Dragon is. And he's like, if you see the dragon, you shoot it. And that's his plan.
Why wouldn't they get the cows?
Because he hired them.
Yeah, but if I'm the one to kill it, I don't know.
I mean, power to the workers. 100% all of the time. I agree that it's stupid that he would get the cows, but...
Yeah, that's his plan.
That's his plan. But anytime the archers are out and looking for the dragon, the wyvern does not appear. It's as though, like, it knows that they're there, and so it won't come close to the valley. No one will see it for anywhere nearby for the entire day, and eventually the archers will have to go home, and then the wyvern will appear. But, like, it knows, so it's, like, not going to get caught by all of these archers. And Llywelyn is like, oh, well, I tried one thing. It didn't work. Guess I have to give up.
Credits.
So the wyvern continues to terrorize Coed-y-Moch. In the mountains, there is a man. He lives with the shepherds. He is himself a shepherd. His name is Meh-RED-ith. He is very, very strong. Incredibly strong. There is a story that goes around town of him. He was taking care of a flock of sheep, and a wolf descended upon the flock and grabbed one of the sheep in its mouth, and Meredydd came out of nowhere and grabbed both sides of the wolf's jaws and pried it apart to let the sheep out.
Yeah.
And they're like, that guy's really strong. And not scared of nothing.
Metal as shit.
Yeah. He's super, super strong. He can fell like huge branches from trees just by pulling on them. Like very, very strong. Mm-hmm. He's also very, very kind and sweet. He only ever uses his strength to help people and to like go against injustices and everything. He's a good boy.
Yeah.
And he hates evil.
Well, we have that in common.
Yeah. He hears that the wizard Llywelyn has failed to destroy the wyvern, and he thinks to himself, like, well, you know, everybody who's going to try has kind of already tried and failed. I should try. Like, this is hurting people, and I think that there's a chance that I might be able to do it. And, you know, I don't feel good just sitting and waiting while other people risk their lives and people are being killed all the time and everything. So he decides, he's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go and try and slay the wyvern. And he leaves home. He doesn't tell anyone like what he's trying to do because he's like, if I fail, that would be really embarrassing. I don't want them to like worry and then I fail. Like if I succeed, then I'll come back and I'll tell them and they won't have to worry, basically.
Yeah, but if I die, then they won't know what happened to me.
Well, if he dies, presumably someone will be like, hey, he died. But he's like, I don't want to tell anyone just in case. And like, I feel kind of silly for even doing this. Like this feels ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he doesn't tell anyone except for his girlfriend, Elwyn.
Oh, Elwyn.
Elwyn, his girlfriend.
And Elwyn. Elwyn sounds like the ending of Llywelyn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Llywelyn.
Llywelyn.
Mm-hmm. Elwyn and Llywelyn met one day. Llywelyn was in the mountains herding his sheep, and he went to, it was like a very misty day, and one of his sheep wandered off, and so he went to go find the sheep, and he fell into a crevice in the earth and got stuck. And Elwyn just happened to be walking by and heard him calling out, and she sat for the entire day and just bare hands dug him out of the crevice.
Oh, crap.
And helped him get out, just like patient, and he was like, I'm so sorry, and she was like, no, it's okay, like I'm here to help, like, you know, just sat with him and saved his life, basically, and then helped him get all of his sheep together.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This is a good match. This is a good love story.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
So that's his girlfriend, Elwyn. She has like honey blonde hair and big blue eyes. Of course she does, but I forgive her. So Elwyn has a house like towards the base of the mountain that he lives on. Mm-hmm. And so on his way out to fight the wyvern, he stops by Elwyn and he's like, hey, I'm going to do this kind of crazy thing. And like, I know that it's ridiculous and I know that I'm probably not going to be able to do it. And like, I hope you're not ashamed if I can't do it.
Aww.
But I really feel like I have to try. And it says that he blushes telling her this because he is embarrassed at being so presumptuous. Her first thought is that she's like, oh God, something's going to happen to him and I'm never going to see him again. And I love him so much and I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
And then her second thought is, no, he can handle it.
He's got this.
He's got this. So she is still scared for him, but very, very proud. Mm-hmm. And the line is, Elwyn, therefore, bent low her face until her golden hair hid the smile of pride on her lips and said simply, go, Meredydd, and my thought and my heart will keep constant company with your absence. And so he rides off to defeat the wyvern.
Romantic shit.
Yeah.
Also, this is exactly how I felt when I was applying to grad school. I didn't tell no one. I was like, I guess I'll just put this in here, having no background in art whatsoever. Then I got in and I was like, never mind, I'm the best. Everyone should know.
Yeah. Really sweet. So he rides off. Elwyn goes to stay with her parents in Hafodfraith. Right?
Okay, well, I didn't do it.
Hafodfraith.
Oh my God. Sounds so mad at me.
Hafodfraith. That was a really hard one to find.
Yeah.
Pronunciation-wise. The Welsh, they keep their secrets very close to the chest. Very hard to find pronunciations. Hafodfraith. She goes to Hafodfraith, where her family lives, to stay with her parents for a little while he is off on this adventure. Mm-hmm. Meredydd continues on his ride. He rides towards where the Wyvern's Valley is. And on the way, he passes through the monastery of the Standard. And he stops and he rings the bell that's outside to let them know that he's there. And all of the priests of the monastery are like, oh my God, Meredydd! Because they love him.
Aww.
He just wanted to stop and say hi. It says, they loved his merry face and valiant form, where they're like, you're so handsome and strong and nice. We love you. So they all come out and they like bustle him inside and they're like, you have to eat lunch. You have to stay and eat lunch. And they're like, why don't you sit down? Tell us what's going on. What's happening in the city? What's happening in the mountains? Like, what have you been up to? How's it going? And he's like, hey guys, thank you so much. So all of these priests like bring him inside and like feed him and everything. And they're all just hanging out. And they're like, so why are you here? And he says, I'm gonna go do a quest.
No big deal.
Probably, maybe a little bit silly, but I would love your help if I can have it. And they're like, of course, literally anything. We love you so much. And he says, I would be honored if you would keep me in your prayers as I go on this quest. And they're like, of course, of course.
God, us?
Our prayers?
For you? Our prayers?
And he's like, yes, that is the only way that I am assured of victory is if I have the strength of your belief in me behind me. And they're like, oh my God, Meredydd, that's beautiful. And he's like, also, I need that magic axe that you have.
Wow.
They're like, oh, the what? And he's like, oh, the axe, the glittering like starstone axe that fell from heaven and like landed on the oak front door of the monastery a couple of years ago. And they were like, this could only have come from heaven and now you have it above your mantle. Like, I would just really love if I could use that for this quest and then bring it back.
Some angel in heaven like accidentally like stepped on a cat's tail and then jumped and they're like, wow, and he's like, I'm sorry, and then like his axe went flying out of his hand and also his ice cream went flying out the other hand and he had to choose which one he was going to catch, and out of instinct he chose the ice cream and then the axe just fell all the way down and he's like, no. Oh, God's gonna be so mad at me.
Also, he crushed the ice cream cone.
No. And the cat came back and beat the shit out of him. No.
And then he found $5.
Oh. Okay, I guess the Lord does work in mysterious ways. He buys another ice cream.
Yeah.
Like, I had a bad day, but you know what? It turned around at the end. Where did that axe go?
Who cares? And the priests, the abbot, the leader of the priests, looks Meredydd in the eyes and says...
They should start calling the Pope leader of the priests. This is a pretty badass title.
The abbot goes silently over to the mantle of the monastery and takes down this glittering axe and brings it to Meredydd and says, go, and our prayers shall rise urgently to the throne of heaven, for you go upon an errand of mercy.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're like, we believe in you. You can do this. You're doing this for the right reasons. We trust you. We love you. If you want to come hang out sometime, we were going to watch a movie later if you wanted to come, but
you
like no
watch
pressure.
Twilight with us, Meredydd? Catch us on the way back. We'll wait.
I like to picture, I don't know why I'm picturing it like this, but I'm picturing all of the priests are like kind of like little gnomes. And Meredydd is just like a huge guy who's like sitting on a bench, and all of them are like, there's like 3 of them like on his shoulders, and he has one in his lap and is like brushing their hair.
Why are you imagining?
I don't know. They seem like, I don't know, they seem like little guys
yeah.
who are like so excited. I'm just picturing
very
him like
friendly.
crawling all over him. Like, hello.
Tell us
We're
the
so
tale.
happy you're here.
Tell us the tale.
They are normal-sized men from everything the story indicates, but
I mean, did the story say they were normal-sized men?
no, they didn't.
So it could be anything.
Yeah, could be anything. I am picturing him like picking up the priests and like throwing them in the air, and they're like, "Wow!" Anyways,
yeah,
I love him. They're like, go with our blessing. And so Meredydd continues on. He keeps trekking towards the valley, and he starts to look around for signs of the wyvern's passing. And eventually he comes upon the trail of the wyvern, and he tracks it through the valley, over the ridge, back in, like around, up a tree, down a tree. And finally he comes out in this pasture that is just all of these like hawthorn bushes. which is a fruiting plant. It grows hawthorn berries.
Yeah.
But it also, before it has the berry, it has this really beautiful, sweet-smelling white flower. And it is like early spring, and so these hawthorn flowers are all in full bloom, so that the whole meadow looks like it's coated in snow, almost. So he comes into this meadow, and he sees, like, all of this, like, white and the sweet smell and everything. And then curled up under the largest of the hawthorn bushes, he sees the wyvern.
Huh? Yeah, found him so fast. I was expecting another, like, 2 tasks he had to complete before he got to it.
No, he's very good at tracking.
Yeah, good.
He's really good at everything.
Yeah, he's hot.
He's pretty hot.
I got it. Meredydd, hot guy.
He's going to be in our pantheon of hot boys. I'm going to just tell you that now.
Yeah.
He approaches the wyvern consciously. He sees that it is passed out asleep underneath this hawthorn bush. And he, like, creeps closer very, very cautiously. He's like, you know, if this thing wakes up, I am fucking toast.
Yeah.
And he gets a little bit closer and he's like, I really hope I'm going to be able to do this. And he, like, thumbs the edge of the axe to make sure that it's sharp enough. And he's like,
what if it wasn't?
Yeah.
Well, I got to go back and sharpen it.
I guess.
I'll be back here tomorrow.
Better late than never.
Yeah, right?
But he, like, tests it and he's like, no, this is sharp enough. I can do this. And, like, shaking, he creeps around to the side of the hawthorn bush and he gets close enough that he can, like, see the wyvern. He gets close enough to see the wyvern's face, and he sees that it has this, like, big kind of, like, dopey smile on as it's sleeping. And he realizes that it has its nose, like, buried in the hawthorn bush, and was just smelling the flowers and was, like, flower drunk off of the smell of flowers.
Oh, no!
Yeah, no, I know. It's really
Devastating.
Heartbreaking. And
Oh, no!
And he's like, so he's not going to smell me coming. This is kind of the best that I could have hoped for. He creeps a little bit closer, and one of the wyvern's eyes, like, lolls open, and Llywelyn freezes. Not Llywelyn. Meredydd freezes, and then this, like, glowing green eye, like, slumps closed again, and the dragon, like, shifts in its sleep. And he finally sneaks closer and closer until he is, like, right next to this beast's head. And it exhales in its sleep, and it is the smell of, like, rot and carrion and
just a reminder, it's not Ferdinand the Bull.
Not Ferdinand the Bull.
Flowers.
No, evil creature. Bad. Not cute.
But is cute because it smells
Taking a
flowers
little
and gets
nap.
drunk on hawthorn smell. Unless hawthorn is, like, kind of like poppies and it turns into some sort of, like, devastating drug.
Maybe. I didn't Google it. I Googled what the flowers look like.
It gets, like, if it gets it drunk, I bet it's some sort of, like, psychedelic.
Hilarious.
Dragon is tripping balls.
So Meredydd, like, catches a face full of this noxious odor coming from the beast's mouth, and it, like, makes him so sick that he almost drops the axe. And he's like, no, gotta keep going. And he steps finally close enough that he is able to lift up the axe over his head, and with one just wiry swing, he brings the axe down on the creature's neck and cleanly slices its head off.
Wow.
Immediately, the beast's body starts writhing in, like, the throes of death and everything. Yeah. And it, like, is twisting like a worm, and its huge barbed tail whacks into Meredydd, like, hits him straight in the chest. And he falls backwards and is knocked out. And at that moment, seeing that Meredydd is out of commission, the wizard Llywelyn comes out from where he was hiding, because he was at the monastery and he heard what Meredydd was doing. And he was like, I'm going to stop him from killing the wyvern because I want those cows.
I gotta have those sweet, sweet cows.
Gotta get those sweet, sweet cows.
Yeah.
So Llywelyn followed him from the monastery to the wyvern and was waiting for for a moment of weakness so that he could attack Meredydd himself. Probably, like, after Meredydd had already destroyed the wyvern.
What a little bitch.
Yeah. And then he was going to claim that he had done it himself. But he sees Meredydd go down, and he sneaks out from where he's hiding, and he prepares to do probably some evil magic to kill Meredydd. And then Meredydd stirs and, like, comes out of his stupor and sits up, and Llywelyn's like, whoop, and, like, moonwalks back into the forest. Never mind. So Meredydd takes stock of himself. He's like, am I alive? Am I dead? Is this a dream? What's happening? And he still feels like sickened by the smell of this and everything. And he's like probably got a punctured lung or something.
Yeah, no kidding.
Knocked on his ass. And he like crawls over to where the wyvern is laying, and he inspects it, and it is dead as a doornail.
Yeah.
And so he like leans over and he cuts out the beast's tongue as like a trophy to be like, I did it. I killed it.
That's the worst part of it, because that tongue is white. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's the nastiest thing I've ever heard.
I know, right?
I hate that.
Isn't it gross? It's such a gross, upsetting detail.
Yeah, that's a really bad detail.
Yeah, and it has this, like, it describes it as, like, syrupy black blood oozing out of the neck stump and everything. I'm like, oh, they did a really good job of making a gross dragon. I like it. So he cuts out the tongue because that's kind of the only part of the thing that he can carry.
Yeah.
And
take a tooth.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Probably be difficult, though.
To get a tooth?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's he
Plus,
got
then it decreases the value of the skull.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
You gotta
skull
think
traders
long-term.
really are going to come up there and haggle over the skull.
Yeah, and it can be missing any teeth. Like, come on. So Meredydd takes the wyvern's tongue and this, like, heavenly axe, which is now smeared with black ichor.
Previously, it had been smeared with soft serve.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Heavenly
cat hair.
soft serve. You know, in heaven, all the ice cream machines at McDonald's are working.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there is McDonald's in heaven, though. It's gone corporate.
Oh, that's a bummer. It's genuinely making me a little bit sad. So he takes this axe and the tongue and he goes back to the monastery. He like drags himself. He is still not in a good way. And he finally gets back to the monastery and he knocks on the door and the priests open the door and see him and immediately have to catch him as he like falls over.
Mm-hmm.
They bring him inside and they give him like food and drink and they like lay him down to rest. And then they spread the word throughout all of Coed-y-Moch of like what this man has done, this incredible task. They're like, he did it. He defeated the wyvern. We're finally free. Hooray.
Yay.
Etc. And
hooray, etc.
Hooray, and etc. So while Meredydd is resting, all of the peasants of the village go out to the valley and they see that, yes, in fact, this mighty beast has been felled. Mm-hmm. They inspect it and they're like, wow, it's even bigger than we thought it was. They're like looking at its wings and everything like that. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe it's actually dead. And like word spreads. All the people of the town come together and they dig this massive grave for the wyvern.
Yeah.
And like 20 men have to roll this creature into the grave and then they build a cairn over it, which is like a mound of
like a hill.
To like mark the location of this mighty deed. Mm-hmm. And they're like, this is the cairn of Meredydd, the dragon slayer. This is the dragon that he slew, etc. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, though, back at the monastery, Meredydd is not doing well.
Oh no.
He has injuries. He has this like strange sickness that is causing him fever.
He probably had poisonous barbs on its tail, but
Something
also
like
could have like crushed his whole chest, you know, like cracked his sternum.
Yeah, so he is like in and out of consciousness. The priests are always with him, making sure that he stays stable, but he is like
crying.
Not in a good way.
They have the hospital TV playing Twilight, and they're all just quietly whispering the plot, like, okay, now Bella is telling Edward that she wants to turn. And he, you know, they say in comas you can hear. Yeah, no, keep talking. I think he can hear you.
One of the priests is at the top of the bed and has Meredydd's head in his lap and is just brushing his hair. Shh.
Meredydd's girlfriend Elwyn just keeps trying to like come and see him, and they're like, no, you can't, it's
contagious.
Sterile. Yeah, you can't be in here. Super jealous.
Go away. He's sick. You can't see him. We have to take care of him.
It would be entirely improper if we let you in. You look dusty.
I love them so much.
I really love Meredydd.
So Meredydd is not in a good way. And all of the people of the valley and the surrounding villages, like, come to the monastery. They want to give him gifts. They want to give him their thanks. Like, they have saved him. People are bringing presents. They're, like, crying, like, bringing their children to come meet this hero and everything.
Elwyn is like, why do you keep letting all of them in? Huh? I'm sorry, did you hear something? I didn't hear anything. You can hear me. You clearly can hear me. I'm just gonna go and, yep, sorry, room's full.
UglyMeanLady says, what?
What? UglyMeanLady.
All of these people come to the monastery to like give their thanks to Meredydd, and the priests turn them away because they're like, he's sick. Really happens in the story. Okay. They're like, we're so sorry. He's sick. Like, he was almost felled by the creature and he needs to recover. Like, come back in a little while when he's feeling better. Thank you. And eventually he sort of like wakes up and is able to eat food again and everything. Mm-hmm. With all of these well-wishers come to visit him comes the wizard, Llywelyn, come to see what's up and if he's dead yet. And he goes to the abbot and is like, Abbot, that brave hero who set out from here to defeat the wyvern, like, I've heard that he's in here and he's resting and he's very sick. Is he okay? And the abbot is like, I'm afraid it's not good. Like, he was on death's door when he got here. The signs are that he's getting better, but he's still got a long road ahead of him. And Llywelyn is like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Oh, no.
And the abbot sees like a sparkle of malice in his eyes, and he doesn't say anything. He's just like, well, we're going to do our best to get him better. And, thank you for checking in. And Llewellyn's like, of course. Oh my God, of course. And the abbot is like, all right, well, come back in a little bit and you can come and bring your thanks. And Llewellyn's like, oh my God, what a hero. Absolutely. Thank you. And he leaves. And he's like, well, I'm not going to be able to get to Meredydd while he's with the priests in the monastery. So I've got to figure out something else. And he departs. Mm-hmm. The abbot watches him leave and is like, I think Meredydd might be in danger. I think that this wizard might try and hurt him. And then he thinks about it for a second. He's like, or, he's safe in here. He might try and hurt someone else. And he thinks about it and he's like, Meredydd is not well enough to go and help anyone. I don't want to worry him for no reason. It will work out. Like, we can handle this.
Yeah.
So Meredydd is slowly but surely getting better. It takes days, weeks for him to recover himself to the point that he can finally stand. And at the point that he is like conscious and no longer at risk, people start coming in and they're like bringing him like fine wines and feasts, and everyone wants to like give him gifts and everything. And he accepts everything graciously. He is very appreciative, but the whole time they're always like, why don't you come visit my family and just like have a vacation for like 2 weeks? And he's like, I can't, I actually have to get home. Literally the whole time, all he thinks about is Elwyn. Yeah. He's like, I have to get home.
Elwyn, who has tried to visit him, but for some reason, she has never come during visiting hours.
That's so crazy.
It's so weird. She's like, you said yesterday that visiting hours were at 8. Yeah, did we say 8 or did we say 4? You just missed them. Sorry.
But all he thinks about is he wants to get back to Elwyn, and he's like, I can't wait to tell her what happened. And, she's going to be so proud of me. And, with these riches, like, we can actually make a life and everything. And as he's getting better, he's like, as soon as I can walk, I'm going to go see her and everything. And then as time passes and he regains his strength, he's like, why isn't she coming to visit?
Uh-oh.
And
yeah, that is weird. Maybe
that
you should
is weird.
stay here. You're not appreciated out there.
Maybe you should wake up with her.
Become a priest.
Maybe.
Nice here.
We have movie nights.
We're watching New Moon tomorrow.
So finally Meredydd recovers enough that he's like, I have to go. I've got to go tell Elwyn what I did and figure out like why she hasn't come to visit, because I'm really kind of worried. And the abbot helps him get ready, and he's like, you just have to be careful because I fear some treachery in your way. So, keep your head on a swivel, be careful. Mm-hmm. There are people now, you are powerful and you are renowned, and there are people now who wish you ill.
Yeah.
And so Meredydd takes off, and he goes to Elwyn's parents' house in
Hafodfraith.
Hafodfraith.
That was so close.
Not close enough for IPA, bitch.
Hey, you should probably get out of here.
He sets off for Hafodfraith and Elwyn's family. And he gets to her parents' house and he knocks on the door, and her parents answer the door and they're like, oh, hi. What are you doing here? And he's like, I came to see Elwyn. And they're like, oh, really? Finally? Wow, where have you been? Because really wild that you haven't been here before. And he was like, I was sick. I was with the priest in the monastery. I couldn't move. I'm only just well enough to come, and I wanted to see her as soon as I can. And her parents are like, oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
All right. Yeah, she's not here right now. She's actually with her sister, who lives like over the mountains. We heard that you had gone to slay the wyvern, and then when you were successful, you went into the town and you were celebrating with everyone, and you had forgotten all of us and just enjoying wine and women aplenty.
And he was like, wait, who told you that? And they show him a little letter, but it's written in like the teeniest handwriting. Just so you know, he doesn't even want to be with you. We heard he has another girlfriend. Her name is Bella.
Okay, you joke.
Oh, no!
But they're like, we heard that you were, partying it up with all the women in town and everything, and that you, like, had said specifically, you were like, yeah, why would I ever go back to Elwyn? And news of that got back to us here in town. Someone told us. And she's heartbroken. Like, she went to go stay with her sister because she couldn't bear to be anywhere near, like, where you had been together. So she's gone. She's been gone for a couple of days. We'll tell you how to get to her sister's house, and you can go and explain to her. And so immediately Meredydd sets off over the mountains to Elwyn's sister's house. He treks through the mountains, and he finally gets to the sister's house, and he knocks, and he's like, hi, I'm here to see Elwyn. I think it might be kind of urgent. And Elwyn's sister is like, she's not here.
Uh-oh.
She already left to go back home.
Huh.
And there's only one path through the mountains, and he hasn't passed her. So he's like, okay, something is wrong. Where she, like, the sister's like, yeah, she left like yesterday to go home. And he's like, she would be home by now if she had left yesterday, unless something went wrong. So he sets back off on the path back to Hafodfraith, and he is just trekking through the mountains. And at this point, he's like, something is very, very wrong. And he sees this mist begin to settle over the mountains, and the path becomes obscured. Meanwhile, Elwyn had set off from her sister's house the day before, and she had been in the forest heading home, and she sat down for a second, and when she got back up again, she couldn't see the path, and this mysterious mist was creeping all throughout the trees, and she couldn't find the path that she had been on, and she was like, oh, well, I know that it's this way, so I'll just start this way. And she had started along where she thought she was going, and then wound up in a completely different place than she expected. And she was like, okay, I might be a little bit lost. And she had been hunting around and hadn't been able to find any sign of a path, anything that she recognized in these woods. And she walked and walked and walked until her feet were sore. And finally she sat down, and she was like, at this point, already heartbroken, is now like lost in the woods. And she just sat down on a rock and started to cry. When she kind of cried herself out, she was just sort of sitting silently in the woods, and she heard the sound of, it sounded like, it was like a bird cry, but it sounded like a bird that had been like trapped or something, or was stuck somewhere. Yeah. And so she was like, well, I've got to go find that bird and help.
This is what happened to Hera too. It's not good.
So she sets off in the direction that she thought she heard the bird cry. And she's like, hello, can I help? Hello? And she hears this like sort of pained cry of this bird again. And she follows the sound, and she follows and follows. And sometimes it sounds like it's like a little bit, it's like really close by, and then it'll be further away. And she's like, where is this bird? And she's going through the forest in this thick, thick mist. And then she takes a step, and her foot plunges into quicksand, basically, into the moors, into a morass. And she's not able to pull it out. And in the process of trying to pull her foot out, she loses her balance, and her other foot sinks into the morass, and she is stuck, and she is sinking quickly. And she's like, oh my God, like I'm gonna die. Nobody knows that I'm here. I'm lost. I'm not near anything. I can't get out. I'm too tired. I can't get out of this. I'm going to die here. And she starts like panicking, and then she hears like a chuckle behind her, and she turns around, and the wizard Llywelyn is behind her.
You villain.
Yeah.
You cur.
And Llywelyn appears like a phantom out of the mist, and he tells her, he's like, hey, are you Elwyn? And she's like, yes, I am. Can you please help me? And he's like, you're Meredyth's girlfriend, right? And she's like, yes. Has something happened? And he's like, Oh my god, this is so unfair, but like the Lord of Nannau like dropped off all the cattle with him after he won his massive prize and then introduced Meredydd to his daughter, and now they're getting married. Sorry, you had to find out this way.
I don't care.
Bye.
I'm in quicksand. Why would you tell her all that just to leave her to die?
I have no idea. Llywelyn is bonkers.
Fuck you, die sad.
Yeah, so the idea is that like Llywelyn went to HA-vod VRYE-th and was like, I heard that he's out there partying, and like told everyone so it would get back to her.
Yeah.
And then I guess was like also just gonna rub it in a little bit. Like found her in the mountains to be like, also I heard that you're not his girlfriend anymore. Just messy. And then he disappears again, and she's like, what? Why would you tell me that here and now? What am I supposed to do about it? So she, like, in the moment of silence that marks the disappearance of Llywelyn, she thinks, and she's like, okay, I'm not going to get out of this. And Meredydd is not going to come looking for me. And my parents are going to be so upset. Like, they're going to be all alone without me, and I don't know what they're going to do. And it's kind of all Meredydd's fault. And she, like, just starts to cry again, and she shouts out, Meredydd, why did you leave? And she, in, like, the silence echoing after she cries this out, she thinks she hears something.
Mm-hmm.
And she, like, pauses for a second, and then she's like, Meredydd? And then she hears distant someone calling her name. Elwyn?
Aww.
Meredydd is out in the woods, and he is like looking around. He's like, there's no reason for her to be anywhere near here. She might already be back in town, but I just have a feeling that she's in danger. And so he's just casting through the woods with absolutely no idea of where he is or where he's going. And he's like, she might not even be here. I might not be able to find her. But he like is so desperate to like make sure that she's safe that he is just wandering through the forest shouting her name. Mm-hmm. And finally he thinks he hears something, and he pauses for a second, and then he hears it again. And then he calls out her name, and they're able to find each other in the forest through this like thick, heavy, greasy mist.
Ew.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Meredydd finds Elwyn, and he very gently pulls her out of the quicksand, and it's freezing. It's like this like fog fen, super, super cold. She's like half frozen from the waist down. Mm-hmm. And he like takes her hands and rubs them together and helps her get warm again, and takes off his big flannel shepherd's cloak and like wraps it around her until she's like warm enough again that she is like fully conscious. And then he just picks her up and carries her back to town.
I like that in their lore, she has already saved him once by digging him out of the earth. Mm-hmm. And I like that this is just reciprocating that move. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's not like a damsel in distress thing. It literally is just like, she's already done this once for him. This is what they do for each other, is they dig each other out of the earth.
I guess.
I like that.
So he pulls her out of the quicksand. He carries her in his arms, wrapped up in his big shepherd's cloak, down the mountain. They stop for the night at a shepherd's hut.
There's only one bed.
No. And then the next morning they continue the trek, and they get back to HA-vod VRYE-th. And everyone celebrates. They are so thrilled. Like, it's become clear that she was in danger and everything, and her family was freaking out. And so when they come home, everyone celebrates, and they're like, you're a hero twice.
Oh my god, hero again?
On the trek back to HA-vod VRYE-th, Meredydd and Elwyn had like been comparing notes. They were like, okay, what happened to you? And she'd been like, I got lost in the forest. There was this mist that came out of nowhere, and I couldn't find my way, and I lost the path, and then I got stuck, and there was this like bird calling that I think like lured me out and everything. And Meredydd is like, yeah, I went to go fight the WAI, and then I got really sick, and then like the priest said that like someone was trying to get me, and I'm really worried. And they put it together that Llywelyn was the one who had, using his dark magics, summoned the mist over the mountains so that they both got lost. And he had caused the bird call that drew Elwyn into the woods. Mm-hmm. So they get back to town. Everyone is celebrating. And Meredydd is like, where's Llywelyn? And they're like, oh my god, you haven't heard?
Uh-oh.
We found him earlier today. at the bottom of a cliff where he had fallen to his death and been smashed to pieces.
Fucking dork.
What we think happened was there was this really thick fog last night.
Oh my god!
And he got lost and fell off a cliff and died.
Wasted by his own petard.
And Meredyth's like, thank God, that guy fucking sucked. Everyone celebrates it.
So stupid.
I know. Okay, I want to talk about this more in just a second, but I love it. So they get back to Hafodfraith, and he claims his reward of 3 square cattle, which the Lord of Nannau like delivers by hand and everything to the priests who take care of it until Meredyth is able to like get settled in his homestead and everything. Mm-hmm. He is finally able to marry Elwyn. He has enough like he's set now.
Yeah.
So they get married, and they have a little white farmhouse on the mountainside where they have all of their cattle and all of their sheep, and they have a bunch of kids who are all like strong and kind above all else.
That's good.
Yeah. And all of his descendants keep the memory of his heroic deed by their coat of arms, which a lot of older Welsh families have, has a wyvern, an axe, and a shepherd's crook on it, on their coat of arms.
That's cool.
Yeah, which I tried to research which family that is, and I couldn't find anything. But that's that. And they all lived happily ever after.
I loved that.
Yeah.
That was very cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really good love story.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Llywelyn.
Okay, tell me about
I don't think Llewellyn's a wizard.
Yeah. You don't think he's a wizard? He summoned fog.
Did he? If it was his fog, why'd he get lost in it?
I think he's a dork. I think that it makes sense that he summoned fog, but he couldn't take it out because he was like Meredyth was still in there, and he didn't want him to gain his footing and find where he was. So he had to do it. And he probably was very cocky as he was walking, like, well, I couldn't possibly get her. It's my fog. And then he just fucking fell off a cliff.
Counterpoint, though, they're like the wizard, Llywelyn. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't do any magic to try and hunt down the wyvern. He just hires some guys.
It's true.
And then he's like, I'm going to go do evil stuff. And the evil stuff is he spreads some gossip.
He does. He's a gossipy old bitch.
That Meredyth is like partying it up and isn't coming home.
Yeah.
And then he is like in the mountains, and it is foggy, and maybe it's his fault. But also it establishes that Meredyth, when he fell into the crevice chasing a sheep, and that's how he met Elwyn, it was really foggy then too. So that's just some foggy mountains.
I mean,
and
he probably is not a wizard.
There's just no evidence that he is. They're like, the evil wizard. Like, how do you know?
You're just saying shit.
You're just saying that he's a wizard because he's evil, but I don't think he has any. And they're like, and he conjured the sound of the bird call.
He just has like a duck
led her
caller.
into the forest. Either a duck caller or just an unrelated bird was just doing.
Help me.
Yeah. Or it was just like a bird in the forest. That happens.
Yeah, he's getting blamed for a lot of shit.
Yeah, there's no evidence that he did anything at all magical, which I think is really funny. But yeah, I love that story. The story does a really good job of like establishing the relationship between Elwyn and Meredyth in a way where it's like, no, they have an existing relationship that's really, really healthy and loving and like well matched.
Yeah, it's well matched. Yeah, there's not a single part of that even though she is in danger and she is used as like a pawn to weaken him, there's not a lot of like damseling or fridging in there because we've already established that she saves him as well. Yeah. And that they have a trust in each other that's very strong. And so like he would have gone after her no matter what. I just really... Yeah. And she would have gone after him if it had been reversed. Yeah. I mean, in a lot of stories like this, I feel like it would be Llywelyn the wizard would have tried to tempt Meredyth. Like he would have like tried to get him to cheat on Elwyn or something like that in the monastery or something. Like I feel like a lot of stories would be like, oh, and he was tempted, but he proved that he was true. And it's like, no, he wasn't even a little bit tempted. The whole time he was like, I miss my girlfriend. If he was gonna be tempted, the little priest would have definitely figured out a way. Oh, it also specifically says at the end, and they're like, and then after they got all settled in their house, the priests brought all of the cattle and also all of the presents that people had left for Meredyth, and also a bunch of extra presents because they loved him so much. And they were like, and you can keep the axe. It's nice. I love them. Yeah, that's good. I love it. I just love this character who is like established as
kind of a local hero at the beginning of like, not because he's like done any great deeds, but because he's just like super nice and helps people all the time. And so everyone loves him.
Yeah.
I really like that.
That is good.
They're like, he has a relationship with the priests because of course he does. He helps them with stuff. He's a helpful, strong, nice boy.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's good. I liked that a lot.
Thanks.
Fantastic. Good job, Wales.
Story. Yeah. Oh, I have pictures for you. This was a really hard story to research because it reads like it should be a famous story.
Yeah.
It's not. Okay. It's not a very well-known story at all. It is kind of regional to Nannau, which is a real area. They have a website of one guy who does a crack job of historianism. But one of the only things that I could find that was like specifically this story and not like a different Wyvern story that was like a different hero or something like that, but specifically this story is a cigarette card, which this is the front and back of it. Yeah. But they're these little cards that we put in cigarette boxes as like kind of like treats. And the cigarette card has art on one side of a youth like standing over a dragon about to slay it with an axe, and then the other side is like a little short version of this story and everything.
You see the little hawthorn flowers and the white tongue. Mm-hmm. That it's sad. The wyvern looks very sweet.
Mm-hmm. It does. Yes, it does. Also, he's wearing like Viking armor for some. He's got like the horn hat, which
they definitely went. Whatever. They made an artistic choice.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is not like a very well-known story at all, which I think is crazy. Yeah. But there are a lot of really well-known Welsh stories about wyverns and like the heroes who slay them, and I think this is a really good one.
That's a good one. Yeah. All right. That's lovely. You want to take a little break?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. We'll be sure we'll be back. Bye. Okay, Max.
Okay, Janey.
Max, okay. The story I'm going to tell you is coming from this little book, Mexican Ghost Tales of the Southwest by Alfred Avila, compiled by his daughter, Kat Avila. The cover says compiled by Kat Avila. I also read on the back that she is the one who translated it all from Spanish into English. But anyway, these are a bunch of stories that he heard in his youth. They are like traditional, basically, ghost and monster tales from Mexico. It's a very, very interesting little book. I like it a lot. The tale that I'm going to tell you is called The Japanese Woman. Mm-hmm. Ooh!
Okay.
The scariest thing to happen to Mexico ever. It's interesting. We'll talk about it a little bit at the end. Max has sunlight streaming straight into her face right now.
Right in my eyeball.
You want to put up a book
specifically
next to you?
An eyeball.
The story starts like this. Quote, "There is a story dating back to the days when the Spanish sailed the vast expanses of the Pacific. It is the story of a funerary urn taken by a Manila trade galleon from Japan to the Philippine Islands, and from there to the west coast of New Spain, as Mexico was known at the time." So that's kind of the backstory, okay? Mm-hmm. The urn that was taken from Japan was beautiful. It was decorated with white and gold cherry blossoms all over it, and inside were the ashes of an unknown Japanese person. No one knows the history of this urn. They don't know whose ashes they are. They don't know how it was brought to Mexico. The best guess is that it was either traded to a Spanish sailor by, quote, an uncaring beggar. I don't know if you can call them uncaring if somebody's trying to survive.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion. Or it was stolen from a Buddhist temple and sold as a souvenir, and that seems more likely to me. However he got it, that sailor brought it aboard his galleon, and when he returned home to Acapulco, he sold it to a shopkeeper to make some quick cash. And so later that day, the shopkeeper and one of his friends, who was, quote, an old seagoing sailor. It's going to be a couple sailors here.
As opposed to the kind of sailor that doesn't go to sea.
As opposed to whatever the fuck...
landbound sailor.
Whatever the fuck they are on Stranger Things that work for that, like, Ahoy ice cream company. So, an old seagoing sailor. They were examining the beautiful jar. And the second sailor suggested they open it and see what was inside. They're both like, what could it be? It could be treasure? Like, it's heavy. That's cool. And so they're like, let's pry it open. There was no treasure in it. Instead, they found ashes and a few charred bones.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this kind of struck me because I feel like when you're listening to this, if you find an old urn, everyone's going to be like, yeah, there's ashes. You probably shook it and heard sand. Like, there's ashes in there. But when I was growing up, my grandmother, it was like a common knowledge that like we talked about cremation kind of a lot because my family's super Catholic, and my grandmother is like was like old school Filipino Catholic. Cremation was not allowed in the Catholic Church for a very long time. And then I looked it up now. It wasn't permitted by the Catholic Church until 1963. And that was because they thought that you couldn't, it had something to do with like resurrection. Like you couldn't be resurrected if you weren't buried in the ground and your body wasn't allowed to naturally turn to dust, basically. And then in 1963, they had to be like, no, you can get cremated. It's fine. You just have to go through like proper Catholic funerary stuff. So all I'm saying is at the time this story is taking place, it makes sense to me that they wouldn't automatically know what an urn is. Yeah. Because in Mexico, they wouldn't have been doing cremations like this. So, shocked, the shopkeeper asked his friend to take the urn and ashes and dispose of them. It said that he kindly asked him to please throw that shit out.
Ew, body.
Gross. The sailor agreed and left with the heavy urn on his back, and he traveled down the long, dusty road to his home in Atoyac, a small town about 3 days' travel from Acapulco. However, by the second day, the sun was blazing hot, and this guy is already holding the stuff that he's traveling with, plus this super heavy, inconveniently shaped urn. And he's been walking for 2 days, and he's just like, oh no. And he can't do it, you know? And so he had thought it'd be relatively easy to lay the urn properly to rest. He wasn't just going to throw it out. He literally, as he left, he's like, I'll take it to that church and see if they can do a funerary rite for it. Because that's what is good to do. It's the respectful thing to do. And so he brought it to a church. I know. I genuinely think this guy tried his best. And he was like, hey, can we get this buried? But he didn't have enough money for a funeral. And the priest there was like, no, I'm not going to perform funerary rites anyway, because, quote, the deceased had been a heathen. Ugh. Yeah, rude. So then the sailor was like, okay, well, maybe I can see what to do when I get home. But then he had traveled for 2 days holding it, and he couldn't go on any longer holding this urn. So eventually, tired from all the extra weight, the sailor stopped along the road next to a really large cactus patch. He hated the idea of just leaving the remains there, but he genuinely couldn't think of anything else to do. So, quote, he decided to leave the urn in the undergrowth, where it could remain unnoticed and undisturbed. He walked into the cactus patch, entered as far as he could, and set the urn down. He wrapped it in an old serape because he felt bad about leaving the deceased in this place. At least he will be warm and protected against the element, the older sailor said. So
that's nice.
He wrapped it up in a blanket, put it in somewhere kind of peaceful, made sure that nobody was going to disturb it and be too loud around it, and then was just like, I'm really sorry. He knelt down and he said a prayer. And then he apologized for leaving the dead person so far from a cemetery. Then he slowly turned and walked back to the road. And, he kept, turning back and looking at it for a long time, feeling really guilty. The story says, quote, it was not the nature of his people to treat the dead so uncaringly, but he had no choice. His village was still too far for him to continue carrying the heavy urn. I don't think he's being disrespectful.
No.
I think genuinely this is more than a lot of people would do, and he's being as respectful as he can. I was kind of touched by all he was doing and the thought that he was putting into it. I also think a lot of people would like to be laid to rest in a peaceful place like that, you know? I don't know.
Especially if your remains have already been taken so far away from your home, stolen, sold a bunch of times. I feel like I wouldn't want to be buried in a cemetery in a world that I had never been to.
Well, especially in a cemetery in a religion that I'm not a part of.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I liked this. The story says, quote, he felt the same desolation as when one of his shipmates was buried at sea, and the only thing that he could see after the body plunged down into the waters was a bit of white foam on the surface of the ocean. Down, down, it would go into the darkness of the deep, where only the dead themselves would know where their final resting place was. And I said, R.I.P. Second Sailor, you would have loved social media. You could have, made a TikTok. I was like, found this urn. Can we help get it back to where it belongs?
Aww.
You would have loved that. He stopped once more to look back and was suddenly startled by a horrible, spine-chilling screech, like the yowling of a large cat. So he was immediately like, oh my God, there must be a puma near here. That, woo. Okay. And he ran off in haste, convinced he had just escaped with his life because these cats attack people all the time. So he left. And that was the last he really thought about it too much, you know. Weeks and months passed after this, and the urn sat in that cactus patch, forgotten and covered in dust. But soon, stories began to spread about this particular cactus patch. People in the nearby village said it was haunted and dangerous for passers-by, especially at night. The story says this. It uses the word Indians, so rip that Band-Aid off. Indians and mestizos alike would avoid the area after the evening twilight. Mestizos is a person of mixed race, especially Spanish and indigenous, so that's that one. And then the indigenous group in the area, what I can guess is probably the Nahuas, but I'm not sure. It's like Aztec.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That's just my best guess. What people did know about this was that at night, a large fireball would appear near the cactus patch. It would float and move around the dirt road, and then it would vanish. Usually, this was followed by a terrible screech and a howl that sounded like it came from some sort of large cat. Sometimes people reported hearing the wailing and moaning of a woman in extreme emotional distress out in that cactus patch. The problem with this was she was speaking. She was like crying out and saying words, but no one could understand what she was saying.
Oh,
the
no.
language was unfamiliar to everyone who heard it because they all spoke like Spanish and like indigenous dialects. Some people said that on moonlit nights, they could see a cat bigger than a puma, like 3 times bigger, with 4 hairy tails waving in the air. The next morning, a body of some traveler was usually found, mangled on the side of the road.
Oh my God.
People lived in fear for months. They whispered that it was the work of the devil, quote, come in the form of a 4-tailed cat to take souls to the dark pit. Dark pit, capitalized. They lit candles and prayed to ancient gods. Some prayed to the God of the Spaniards, but no one answered their prayers. The killings continued. Quote, woe to the ignorant traveler who passed by the cactus patch at night. He became a sacrifice for the strange demon. Eventually, the villagers turned to the local curandera, or healer, as their last hope. She could enter the spirit world, seek answers, and figure out how to pacify it, and she knew how to keep herself safe from like all the evil spirits and stuff that were around. So one evening, they all gathered around her hut, and then she came out and lit a half circle of torches and stood behind the blaze. Quote, she pulled out a button of peyote, the sacred god spirit of the curanderos, and the Tarahumara Indian shamans.
Nice.
I am not, I don't speak Spanish. The villagers watched as she stood, waving her arms over the flames and chanting the secret words that put her into a trance. Quote, she waved, twisted, and chanted. Suddenly she stopped. Her eyes became white, and she spoke in a foreign tongue. And she started speaking Japanese. It has like a little...
Whoa.
What?
That's so cool.
Yes. It has a little like italicized version. What were you going to say?
It's really cool that she started speaking Japanese and not that the ghost suddenly started speaking Spanish.
Yes. So it said, Watakushi no haka, doks ni aramasu ka, and then it goes into like a ... and then it translates that to English, but they're still hearing Spanish. So like the English is for us, the readers, but the people are still hearing gibberish to them. They've never heard this language at all. So the ghost is saying, my grave, where is it? I am so lonely. The curandera continued in the strange language, shouting, where am I? This is not my land. This dry, hot, and windy land is strange. It is filled with strange-looking people unknown to me, and with strange smells and sounds. I was removed from my grave, from the temple grounds of Shinzo, near the village of Katsura. Oh, how I miss the green pine trees. I long for the bamboo groves and mountains of my province. I miss the winter snows. What place is this? Am I in hell? I know. The people watched as the curandera shuddered and spoke in this strange language, obviously possessed by some sort of demon, and they couldn't understand a thing she was saying. And finally the demon looked around and said, do you people understand? Oh dear, how cruel, how cruel. And then the curandera fell down in a faint. So like she did this whole speech and then was like, oh, they're looking at me like I'm crazy. Okay. And then she left. After a long while, the curandera rose slowly, regained her senses, and the torches at that point had almost burned completely down. They had waited like all night for her to come to. The curandera told them that they had to find a way to control this woman's spirit. She was super angry, and her spirit was turning into a vengeful demonic cat that killed out of anger and frustration. And they needed to find someone who spoke her language and fast, but they didn't know what language it was. They were like, fuck. How do we even... They have no concept of Asian languages. They can't even like... At them, they're like, this could be, I guess, some form of Spanish, maybe? Like an indigenous language we haven't learned? Like, they have no idea.
Yeah.
Just Nothing. So she sent a scout out to Acapulco to find a sailor who had sailed to many places and who could possibly help them. She's like, just, this is what we know. Go around, tell them the story, see if anybody could possibly put together where she could be from. That night, 2 more travelers were killed on the road. They had been killed more viciously than previous travelers. Their bodies had been completely torn apart and scattered around the road and into the cactus patch. The scout left as soon as they could. It was a journey that would take at least a week, and the village waited anxiously for their return. They prayed for the evil to disappear, but the demon's hatred and frustration was only growing. The scout searched the cantinas in Acapulco for someone who could help. Quote, after enduring a few beatings along the way for bothering an occasional unfriendly drunkard, he finally found the person for whom he had been searching. Girl! He's like, hi, there's a ghost in my village. And like, you son of a bitch. Don't talk to me about ghosts. The person that he found was a grizzled sea dog.
A dog?
A dog, not a bird. And we know that because it had 4 legs.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So this grizzled sea dog had traveled all over Asia and recognized some elements of the story he was being told. He told the scout that the demon must be from Japan, as that is the only country he could think of that had demon cat stories. He's like, oh, that's a yokai.
So cool. Oh my God, I love this story.
Yes, right?
I love this story so much.
Okay, and then he says this. Most of their cats are bob-tailed, meaning they shorten the tail. They cut off the tail, so it's like our little no-tail cats here.
Yeah.
So most of their cats are bob-tailed. They believe that a long-tailed cat is evil and has magical powers, and that a cat with 4 tails is a cat of death. The word for 4 in Japanese, shu, also means death. So I searched this up because I've never heard of a 4-tailed cat in Japan. I've heard of 9-tailed foxes. We've heard a couple 2-tailed ones. I haven't heard 4 tails. But it's the same thing in Chinese, where the number 4, su, is the same word. It's the same sound as death, right? Mm-hmm. What I could find on this was that it could be a nikomata, a yokai that has 2 tails, and then maybe this story just added 2 extras. But I couldn't find anything else on that. The old sailor agreed to go with the scout to try to talk to the demon and help the village. He was like, I speak Japanese, let's do this. I've got nothing else to do. This guy seems like he genuinely just doesn't have anything else to do.
I mean, he's a dog. What's he gonna do?
He's an old sea dog.
Hang out? Play catch?
Yeah.
Play catch?
Play catch? You want to go for a walk? You want to go for a walk?
A walk?
A walk?
A walk?
Let's go. They traveled for 3.5 days back to the village. A slightly longer trip than usual because the sailor wasn't used to the journey, so the scout was like, oh my God. Oh my God. It says, quote, it had been a very long time since he had been a land crab, as he enjoyed calling landlubbers. He was taken to the cactus patch by the curandera and told the strange stories. The sailor stood on the road and looked out at the patch, and what he saw were huge cactus trees, some flowering, some filled with prickly pears, and birds were singing, and it was just really peaceful to him. But under it all, he was like, this is not so bad, genuinely. I haven't had a peaceful moment like this because I've been on the sea so much. This is nice. But under it all, he smelled the stench of death. Even in the daylight, it gave you a queasy feeling to stand there. That night, he went to the cactus patch with a large torch, and he waited. And he heard crickets and felt a slight breeze. It was really nice. Until suddenly, a cold shiver passed through him. He turned and raised his torch, just as a fireball rushed past his head. It went across the dirt road and lingered over the patch like it was observing him. It flew in these slow, erratic motions over the cactus patch and the road. And the man called out, who are you? And the fireball stopped moving, snapped, and disappeared. And he remembered a story of a Japanese will-o'-the-wisp, the soul of a deceased person as it wanders the earth. He's like, oh, I know what that is. That's a ghost. I get this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this guy was super into Japanese folklore. That's just what we're getting here.
I love it.
Yeah. So now he watched as the will-o'-the-wisp disappeared and was replaced by a giant cat with 4 tails. And it spat out, who are you waiting for? And the man was like, you. What?
In Japanese?
Yeah.
Ah,
yeah.
Cool.
Yes. By the way, when I was learning Chinese in China, the best sound I've ever heard in my life, I think about this all the time. I had a Mexican classmate who spoke Chinese in all my classes, but for some reason, a Mexican accent speaking Chinese is the most beautiful sound I've ever heard in my life. It is. I was like, I want to listen to you all day long. Oh my God.
That's great.
Yeah. So The cat swished its tail nervously, was like watching the torch. It asked why the man was there, and he told it he wanted to know why it had come to Mexico to torment poor villagers. He's like, this is a really poor village that is already kind of suffering from a lot of shit that's going on. This is like indigenous people being like terrorized by the Spaniards like throughout history. Like, why are you here? That makes no sense. The cat growled. I autocorrect said the cat drowned. And I was like, the end.
What?
And then the cat drowned.
Rip.
The cat growled and said, I hate these people. I hate this land. I miss my homeland very much. In my loneliness and terror, after years of waiting to find peace and rest, I have become the monster that I am, killing to take revenge on those who brought me to this desolate place. And as it talked, it like stalked him. It was like creeping closer, but he was holding the torch out, and every time it would try to like dart around it, he would turn the torch, and it was getting really frustrated. The cat yowled in frustration. It wanted to rip the sailor to pieces, but it couldn't reach him, and it was like just vibrating with anger. Realizing at this point that it is a physical being in this form, and that it has to like think like a physical being, the sailor started to creep further back into the cactus, and the cat was just pissed about this. It kept, like, in its head, it's like it could change back into a fireball, but it couldn't do any real harm in that form. Like, it's just, like, floating around. And so it started to scream, Mr. Sailor, come here. But the sailor was like, no. So it crouched in the cactus and it waited. The cat charged, but leapt back in pain when it hit the cactus spikes. And so then it just paced back and forth in anger until the sun began to rise, and then it faded into nothing. So the old sailor was exhausted. He had already just traveled for like 3.5 days, and now he spent a whole night out. But he had a hunch. So at this point, he started to move carefully through the cactus patch, searching through the brush and the grass and the fallen pads of the cactus plants. And occasionally, he was like pricked by the thorny plants, and his torch had gone out like a long time before. But by the time the sky was fully lit up by the sun, he found what he was looking for. A tattered serape, faded by time, wrapped around a beautiful urn. And he's like, this is it. He picked up the urn carefully, not wanting to drop it and damage it, because, oh boy, would that be bad. Mm-hmm. Then he carried it to the curandera's house and told her to go with him into the village of Atoyac, where a large cemetery was located. He's like, we need to bury this now. We cannot wait till tomorrow, because if we hit nightfall, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Mm-hmm. So we need to get this in the dirt. They asked the village priest, Padre Juan, to help them bury the Japanese...
I'm sorry, Papa John?
Papa John. Guys, when I was... Okay, quick tangent. When I was young and I went to church every single week. I almost said day. I went to church every day. I was very, very Catholic when I was growing up because my family is super Catholic. And I was at like a potluck something, and I sat next to this really old German woman. And she was just old and ornery as hell. She was so unpleasant. I loved her. But all I know, she had just gotten married to this super old man. She was like 90 and he was like 97. They were just so old and they had just gotten married. And I know. And I really didn't know her that well, but there was an empty seat next to her. And like on the other side of that seat was like somebody in my family. So I was like, I'll just sit here. So I went to go sit down. And she reached over and went, that seat's for Papa John. And I started laughing. And I was like, haha, yeah, well, the potluck's not that bad. We don't have to order pizza. And then I turned around and her old as hell husband was just like standing next to me holding a big plate of food, like looking at me behind his giant glasses. And I was like, oh, you're Papa John. Hello, Papa
That's
John.
Papa John.
I think I literally was like, Papa? Like, let him sit down.
That's really good.
Anyway, I can't think of Papa John now without thinking of that seats for Papa John. It's like, well, try the food first. Anyway.
I also love the idea of being so old and just being like, that seat's for my pizza. Get out of here, child.
And you know what? Fine. Sorry, that was my bad. Okay, so they asked the village priest, Padre Juan, to help them bury the Japanese woman's remains. And after hearing the whole story, the Padre was like, yeah, the guy who denied you before, like, well, he didn't know any of that. I'm sure he'd be like, that guy was a dick. Yes, we're going to bury this one. After they had dug a plot for the urn, villagers began to join them. They placed the urn in a box and they lowered it into the hole, covering it with earth. The people all prayed for her. Like the whole village came and prayed over this grave. And the priest said a prayer for her eternal rest, even in a place so far from her home. The next day, they placed a tombstone over the grave. It read, "The Japanese woman, so far from her homeland in Japan, rest in peace." And from that day on, the demon cat was never seen again. There's a paragraph at the end that says, "As local custom demands, every year on the Day of the Dead, the villagers whitewash her stone and cover her grave with marigold flowers. She is not forgotten. Although she was responsible for many deaths, they have long since forgiven her." And then it says, the old sailor, that day of her burial, also placed flowers on her grave. He was thanked for his help with a small monetary donation. They got together like a pool and they're like, take some money. Thank you for saving us. And then he left for Acapulco and no one knows what happened to him. They say he disappeared into some cantinas. That old sea dog.
That old sea dog.
Back to drink.
Woof, woof.
Woof, woof, indeed. And the last little paragraph says this. If you walk by the cemetery in the village of Atoyac during the evening twilight, you might hear the gentle crying of a woman in the corner of the cemetery. They say it is the Japanese woman, crying in her loneliness so far from her beloved homeland.
Aw.
I know. She's
That's
still
sad.
I was upset that she was still sad and she wasn't, at rest.
That sucks.
I know. Yeah, it's a sad one. I do love that the whole village came together and they were like, she was suffering. This is unfair. It sucks that she's here. We're going to, take care of her the way that we take care of our family members. We're not going to, let her grave just sit there,
Yeah.
I think that's lovely. Okay, so this book, Mexican Ghost Tales of the Southwest, is full of traditional Mexican ghost stories, including tales of witches, the devil, and La Llorona.
La Llorona.
There's 2 stories of her. Alfred Avila is described as, quote, perhaps one of the last tall tale specialists in the Mexican tradition of the Southwest, which I think you and I should put on a resume, tall tale specialist.
Oh my God, that's so good.
It's really good. He remembered many of the tales in this book from his childhood, and he did all the illustrations himself.
So cool.
Yeah. Here's the illustration he did. They're all pen and ink illustrations.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's a very traditionally dressed Japanese woman who's a ghost, and she's coming out of a beautifully decorated urn in the middle of a cactus patch. And she's right in front of this, truly very fucked up looking big cat. Kind of looks like a cereal mascot, but evil. Mm-hmm. And then there's a flaming ball of fire next to her.
Yeah, and there's some cactuses.
Mm-hmm.
It has all the elements. Yeah, every story has a spooky illustration. This is La Llorona of the Moon.
Oh, what? Scary.
Yeah, they have they're horror illustrations. They're black and white pen and ink horror illustrations. Kind of in the vein, not as scary, but in the same aesthetic as Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. They're not meant to make you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I love them.
That one's a guy in a sombrero, and there's a mummy trying to get him.
The back of the book says that Cat Avila, I like it because I think that he wrote the back of the book, or he at least wrote some of it, because it says, and the present generation is pitching in to make sure that this valuable segment of American tradition is not lost. Cat Avila, his college-educated daughter, has rendered vivid and precise translations of her father's originals. It just feels like somebody who's very proud that his daughter went to college and helped him on this book, and she made sure that this got out. This was printed in 94, so. Oh,
nice.
Yeah. It's been a little while. And it holds up. It's really good.
That's really, really good.
There's no intros or anything like that. There's no introduction in this book, which kind of bothered me. I wanted to hear from him. Mm-hmm. So that was really strange to me that there's no intro in his words, or why did I write this, or where did this come from? All the information about the book is on the back cover. Mm-hmm. And there's no info on where he found these stories. These are truly just stories that he learned in his childhood that he kept with him, living in these little towns in Mexico. So yeah, that's all I can get from there, because I did try to look up this, because I was like, this is claiming to be a historic story, so I can find this. And I put Japanese woman Mexico, and don't type that in. And then somebody was like, Japanese woman Atoyac, Mexico story, Reddit. And I was like, okay, I could do that one. And it was like, how can I talk to a Japanese woman? Do Japanese women like me? Christ. Japanese feet, Mexican man. What the hell? Oh, no. So I stopped looking for research really soon.
One piece of context that I do have is I have a collection of stories about witches from New Mexico in the Southwest. Mm-hmm. And it establishes in there that one of the things that they say about witches is that witches can transform into fireballs and that you'll see them like in the night sky and they will attack people. So that's like what a witch looks like, is she's usually either a cat or a fireball.
Hey,
at night.
This is a witch.
Yeah, but they're like, you can look up like Mexico witches fireball and it comes up with all of these stories of like, this is what witches look like. This is how you know someone is a witch. Kind of like in all of the like the Irish and English stories where it's like, oh, you can tell she's a witch because at night she like takes off her head or whatever, or like takes off her skin, and then you can find out what she is. It's the kind of the same thing of like, oh, if she's not home and the window's open and you see a fireball in the sky, it's because she's a witch.
She's flying around. I love it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nice tale because it was kind of complicated. It wasn't like a, and then they tossed her ashes here. It was like, no, she wasn't carelessly tossed by the last person, but it just so happened that she was already being like, trafficked, but like kind of, her remains were disrespected, and there's no way for her to get back to Japan. And so like, I don't know, kind of understand why she's so angry. And I love that the villagers were like, we forgive you. Sorry, that sucks.
This sucks for everyone.
Yeah.
Real sorry. I also love that it felt very realistic, kind of. Like, very, very realistic. It felt like an episode of Supernatural in a way that really appeals to me. Like season 1 Supernatural.
Yeah, it's only a monster of the week story. Yeah, for sure.
And I love it.
Yeah. This is a good little book. Go look it up. It's only like $9.95 on bookshop.org if you guys want to check it out. I put the link in the bio.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Max.
Janey.
We have an appointment to get to.
Oh, we gotta go see a horse about a dog.
We gotta go talk to that dog about our fucking money. Give us our money, dog. So, we're gonna get on out of here. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. If you want to talk to us about these tales, join the Discord. It's $3 a month, and it's a fun little community over there. Or you can talk to us on Instagram at Sort of the Story, or email us, sortofthestory@gmail.com. And find all of our sources and all of our social media links in the show notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And we're going to go. Bye.
Bye.
My sister was subscribed for a while to Ugly Produce.
Oh yeah, what's it called? Misfits Market.
This one was called Ugly Produce, but it's the same. It's the same concept, where they get the stuff that you can't sell in supermarkets because they're perfectly good. They're just like oddly shaped. Mm-hmm. And one time she got a sweet potato that was like seriously like over a foot long. It was it was the biggest, weirdest sweet potato. The whole family just gathered around it at the table, and we were like, what the fuck do we do with this? It was like inconveniently large sweet potato. It was like as big as a baby.
That's really good.
Yeah. They were like, we're going to give you some sweet potato. And so she got I think she got a couple of two small ones and then giant sweet potato. And we're like, that's the size of 10 sweet potatoes. What do we do with it? It's too much sweet potato.
I've had that happen a couple of times where they weigh the produce by weight. Mm-hmm. And I get the smallest bag that there is because I'm usually just cooking for me and sometimes you and sometimes our friends.
Yeah.
But it's by weight. So sometimes I will get oranges by weight, and some of them will be small. They'll be clementine sized or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then there'll be one that's the size of a volleyball.
Big just daddy.
Yeah, big old. Same with tomatoes. Sometimes I'll get a couple of small round little ones, and they're bright red and incredible. And then there's one that's huge. It's okay, big tomato.
I aspire at all times to be big tomato in my circle.
Yeah.
I would like to be big sweet potato.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.